Today is Friday, April 23rd. Please, again, make sure that you are studying these flashcards. You know that one half is equal to 5100s, 50%. You know that one fourth is 2500s, 25%. You know that three fourths is 7500s, 75%, and so forth. So please make sure you're doing these flashcards every day. Okay. Today we're focusing on the side and angle relationships of triangles to help us understand how to solve other algebraic equations. This is chapter 9, lesson 3. So please have your textbook open to page 693 for further support. That's the beginning of the chapter, so obviously that's the introduction. You'll flip to the subsequent pages to see more information, but here's the gist of it. You need to understand that isosceles triangles have equivalent sides, and it just so happens that the opposite angles from those equivalent sides are also equivalent. So we need to understand that. We also need to understand that uh, equilateral triangles, all three sides are equal, all three angles are also equal, and since all three angles are equal, they're always equal to 60 degrees because as it says over here, x plus x equals 180. 3x equals 180. So if you divide both sides by 3, it's going to be 60. So equilateral triangles always have all three angles equal 60 degrees. Okay. So we're going to apply these by doing some algebra problems. I have typed out the explanation for these two examples here, solving for x and solving for y. So we're doing the x as the interior angles. Y is going to be based on the sides. So please look at the explanations for x and the explanations for y. Determine the value of x and y. This particular situation, I have also included an explanation for this in writing. And then 1/2 x is equal to 52. That is going to be a video explanation. Please take time to look at these things. And then for solving for y, 3 and 2/10 is equal to 4y, then this is going to be the video explanation for that as well. So I need you to also be working on some extra credit by doing Imagine Math and Imagine Math Facts. These are both going to get you ready for the STAR test with some review of 6th grade skills. So please take the time and the effort to do these things. Okay, now we're going to review some stuff from the book. If you open up your book again to page 694, you're going to see the explanation again about what is true about isosceles triangles, the angles and the sides. In this particular example, it says determine and solve the equations for x and for y. X is going to be the interior angle, so 7x and 35 degrees. These two angles are equivalent because they're the opposite angles of the equivalent sides. And so 35 is equal to 7x. Divide both sides by 7, you get 5. X is equal to 5. And if we determine the value of the y, this is a congruent sign. So y minus 1 and 7/10 is equal to 6 and 8/10. So you just write that out as an equation. You subtract 1 and 7/10 from y, so the opposite would be to add 1 and 7/10. So add that to both sides. Y is equal to 8 and 5/10. Now we're going to look at the same kind of thing for equilateral triangles. All three sides are equal. All three angles are equal. The angles are always going to be equal to 60 degrees. So in example 1, if we want to solve for x, 4x is equal to 60 degrees, and then we divide both sides by 4, we get x is equal to 15 degrees. And if we were to solve for y, 25 and 62/100 is the length of this side, and it's going to be equivalent to this side, so 6 and 1/10 times y is equal to 25 and 62/100. We divide both sides by 6 and 1/10, and we get y is equal to 4 and 2/10. We're going to do some problems together. Okay, even though this isn't exactly a triangle, It does make a triangle if we visually close off the bottom where the ladder is sitting on the ground. From the side view of the ladder, it has the shape of an isosceles triangle with measures sides shown. Write and solve an equation to determine the value of x. So if we say that the height of this side of the ladder is 12 and 5/10 and that this side of the ladder is 25 hundredths times x feet, we need to solve for x by writing the equation. We know that this is equal to that because it just told us that this was an isosceles triangle. So we're going to go ahead and write the equation of 12 and 5/10 is equal to 25 hundredths times x. So how are we going to get the x by itself? What property of equality we're going to use? Are we going to add, subtract, multiply, or divide both sides? Answer that, please. Very good. We're going to actually divide because this operation is multiplication. The inverse is division. So we're going to say 12 and 5/10, and we're going to divide that by 25 hundredths. Now to set up that problem, I'm going to write, there's some space up here. I'm going to write up here 25 hundredths divided into 12 and 5/10. Before I can do that division, I have to make this into a whole number. So we do that by moving the decimal 2 times to the right, which is the same as multiplying by 100. So if I move this 2 times to the right, I'm going to end up with a space here that needs me to fill it in with a 0. So I'm going to rewrite this so it's a little cleaner. We now are dividing by 25 and not 25 hundredths. And we are going to divide into, instead of 12 and 5/10, we're going to divide into 1,250. Go ahead and solve that, please. Okay, x is actually going to be equal to 50 because 25 can go into 125 5 times because there are 4 groups of 25 in 100 plus 1 more, that's 5, and we subtract that, we get 0. Then we're going to bring the 0 down. 0 times 25 is 0. So 50 is the correct answer. And if we think about this, what is the benchmark fraction of 25 hundredths again? Very good. It's 1/4. So basically 1/4 times x, 1/4 times 50. So 1/4 times 50. Half of 50 is 25. Half of 25, if we were to, half of 50 is 25, and if we cut that in half again, then half of 25 is going to be, drumroll please, 12 and 5/10. So this all works out, and I checked it for understanding by using my benchmark fractions decimals. Okay, let's do one more problem together. Okay. The inner part of a recycle symbol is the shape of an equilateral triangle with the angles measures as shown. Write and solve an equation to determine the value of the x. Okay, so they're saying that if we just visually look inside here, that this little shape here is going to be an equilateral triangle. All 3 sides are equal. All 3 sides are equal means that all 3 angles are equal. And what do we always know? That an interior angle of an equilateral triangle is always what number? Very good, that's always 60. So in that case, 12x is going to be equivalent to 60 degrees. Now I have to solve for the x. So what am I going to do to this 12 to get rid of it in order to end up with just having just the x equal to something over here? Am I going to add, subtract, multiply, or divide? Which property of equality am I going to use? Very good. I'm going to divide both sides by 12. Now this is a basic fact. 12 times what number equals 60? So go ahead and solve that for me, please. Okay, that's a sad looking number 12, but 12 times 5 equals 60. And if you do not know that, I mean, you could solve it if you'd like to, and you can guess and check, and 12 times 2 is 24, 12 times 4 is 48, and just whatever, you're going to end up with 5. 5 times 2 is 10, carry the 1, we end up with 60, and so that is the case, that x is equal to 5. All right, so I want you to think about what was the most important thing that we think we need to remember about the angle relationships of triangles in order for us to help solve our problems in our life. Go ahead and answer that for me, please. Be thoughtful. Very good. Thank you for your thoughtful response. Please come to Math Help for more support. Please come to the math live classes to ask questions. It's really up to you to decide that you want to learn, and learning is about making mistakes and figuring out why you got things wrong. I appreciate your time. Thank you.